Since I don't have very much money, um, most of the things that I eat, well, for like the past few months, what I've been doing, uh, I guess not the past few months, because basically if there's something on sale, then I'll buy it if it's a reasonable price. But at my local store, the normal prices of things are just outrageous. And honestly, I don't know how, like, if things weren't put on sale, I would just have like no extra money because I would be spending it all on food. Like a frozen pizza, like for some reason they're all like $10. $10 is a lot of like for a pizza is honestly a lot of money. Um, Especially for like a frozen pizza that's not even that good. $10 is like this is why I don't eat out much because every one time I bought a Subway sandwich, like literally a 6-inch Subway sandwich because I figured it'd be like $5 and it was like $12, but it ended up being like 14 because I got a water and there was like I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cough too much. And a tip, like it's honestly insane just how much money things cost. I remember I went in there to that Subway that time and there was a bunch of these girls who I guess must have been in school or like married. Basically, I was thinking like either their parents got them all this money that they could spend on Subway because this is like the way they were acting, it was a regular thing for them. Um, Me, I walk in, it's like I don't even know what to order because I never know what the menu is because I only go in somewhere like once a year or something. But I'm like, the only way they could possibly afford doing this often is if their parents are paying for it, or like, or they have a boyfriend or a husband who's working like a blue collar thing, and is just sharing all their money with them. I'm never going to try and like get a bunch of money in the hopes that I could have someone like me for my money because that's just the worst reason. Like imagine that being in the back of your head. I do not like the idea of being the person that is making all of the money and all the resources. And it's so stupid how like there's just no respect for that a lot of the time. Like a lot of women really are very entitled. Honestly, guys, I like women a lot. Um and I like women more than I like men, but like there's a lot of things that I'm just really starting to not like about women and it's basically just because just interacting with women I guess isn't so bad, but basically being on TikTok and seeing how all these women and these girls think pisses me off honestly so much. Um, it honestly just pisses me off so bad sometimes because there's like this underlying attitude with everything that they are their lives are worth more than men's lives. And like if you just spent some time on TikTok, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Like they just believe that they're worth more than any man that they meet, whether it's their husband or just anybody. Like even if it's the person they marry, they're like I am in their mind, they are worth more than the other person. And that other person owes them because they're basically not worthy of them and they decided to give this person their attention. And basically a huge this is really like men's fault for like a big point of it. I mean it's their fault too. It's the woman's fault too. Just it I don't want to just say society, but because like that's just a word. But it's like all this programming that we get in just like I don't know the way that we're taught. It's like and the thing is okay, so like take an example of like I was taught that you should hold the door open for people, and it was never like specifically like a you should hold the door open for women thing. It was just you should hold the door open for people. But it's weird how like so some women it's kind of rare like now, but there was always this attitude of like, oh, you need to hold the door open for women because they're women, and that's the reason. Um, and now like with the way that people's attitudes are changing for like the last, I don't know, like 30 years or something. Sometimes if you hold the door open, like I've heard stories of this too, and like weird things have happened where it's like I've held the door open for somebody because that's just what I was taught to do, like for anybody, and not because like I think like somebody is worth more than me, or like, or because I'm trying to treat them like a princess or something. But like I've heard stories like this guy, like you see tweets sometimes or something. Like I saw this one where this guy said he held the door open for a woman, and she just stopped at the door and she told him to go in. And it's like she doesn't need to act like that. Like she doesn't need to, because he was taught to do that. Like she doesn't need to act like that and like shame him. Like, oh, you really think like you need to, like, just this whole attitude of like, just all she has to do is just say thank you and walk through the door. That's it. She doesn't have to like smile at him or kiss his butt or anything. She just say thank you. Like whenever people try to do things for you, it's actually much of the time it is much more kind and graceful to just accept what they're trying to do for you and receive it. Um, but like one time I held open it wasn't it was for an old woman, like an old woman, and she was on the other side of some doors that I was going to, and actually maybe she was behind me. Either way, I held the door open for her, and it was a double set of doors, and something distracted me, so like I hold the door open and I look away, and then she just walks through the other door. Like she opens the other door and walks through it and looks at me and kind of like smiles. And it's like, I don't think you needed to do that. Um, yeah, I don't think you needed to do that at all. One time, this this girl was talking with me, um, and we were walking together. So like the context of this is that she had she basically liked me and she had some interest in me, and I was just kind of trying to get to know her because I'm just a very open-minded person. So like I'll get to know, like if somebody's interested in me and they like, for the most part, like if they try, I'll entertain them. So we're walking together and we come up to another like a set of doors, and it was kind of silly, but like I literally just do this for people. It doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman. I do this for people sometimes. I'll just hold open the door for them. But I don't know if she did this on purpose, but like I opened the door without going through it, and she didn't walk through, and it's like, okay, well now I feel like stupid, and like I don't know if the word ashamed is right. It's like I'm not trying to like riz you up by opening the door. I'm just like trying to be polite because we're sitting here, we're walking together and talking. And like after like a second, I'm like, oh, she's not gonna walk through. I walk through myself. I just hold the door open for people, cause like it's just literally like the most basic manners, and it doesn't have anything to do with somebody being a man or a woman. Cause I'll do it for guys too. Um, and I guess I don't know what other people think about that, but sometimes women get this attitude about it where they're like they're annoyed at you for treating them like they're women, even though in my case I'm not even doing that. I'm just doing what I do for anybody. And basically, like on TikTok, it's like anything that you do, or like anything that men do, is criticized. And it's like the women just won't look at the intention behind what the man is doing. They instead look at the action, and then they assign their own malicious intention. Like they decide that the man is being malicious or manipulative or something, or that he's unloving or uncaring. Like I saw this one, like the women, they do these tests where they'll like ask their um, stuff like it's just like stupid tests that are really disrespectful. Where it's like they'll ask their partner like, okay, would you choose me in a room full of beautiful women? And it's such a dumb question. I don't even know, like, I don't even know. It's just so dumb. I mean, honestly, with that question, it's like I'm sure there's some reason that they would find where if you say, of course I would choose you, like I already have, they'll still find some reason to not like that, because sometimes they just do that. Um, but it's like, why are you a different one? That one's more reasonable, honestly, but it's still rude to like test somebody. Like you're with this person. If that person, like, because of the way that people in this world just fornicate all the time, if that person puts themselves inside of you, you need to have already asked these questions or gotten the answer to these questions in some way. And you need to like not wait for this TikTok trend for this to happen for you to know that this person is good for you. Um, what was the other one? The other one was like women were asking their partner, um, like, why do you love me? And it's just so. The thing is some people. It annoys me that there is always answers, like they will decide whether an answer is right or wrong according to their own ideas, not by what the man is thinking when he says what he says. So, and some people have a hard time articulating things. Um, like for example, I don't even know if this is the stupid thing about this is I don't even know if this is a good thing or a bad thing or a neutral thing. But like one woman said that her boyfriend answered to that question like, why do you love me? Like what are the reasons? And he said, I don't know, I just do. Now, some people aren't just as conscious about things, but that doesn't mean that they don't have good reasons for it. I can kind of see the reasoning here behind this is, um, well, he must just like me for my body, and he just wants to have sex with me. I understand that reasoning, but the whole like jumping to conclusions things because you don't like his answer, instead of like asking him to elaborate on his answer or something, like it's just annoying. And I actually read this book recently by this woman who had dated a ton of men, and she was always having these problems with dating, and she couldn't get, like, one of the big things was she couldn't get men to commit to her, and that was a big problem for her. That was like her whole thing in the book. The book is called 10 Things Every Woman Needs to Know About Men, and it's really not bad. Like, and it revealed to me a bit how women think. Because the problem is that there are things that men will do that in our minds are totally harmless because our intentions are totally harmless. Um, but in their minds, because of the way that their brains work, and they don't realize that men's brains are working differently and that men are thinking differently, they see men do or say something and they assign a different motivation to it than what the man actually has. And also just like like that's the big thing. It's like women will just get on you and gossip about you when you say things that are meant to be like good, but they'll interpret it in this bad way, and it's just not even supposed to be like that. It I don't know. It just pisses me off. Gossip in general pisses me off. But I can definitely say that you know I don't like men more than I don't like women. I just don't like people in general, and it's not really like a sex thing. I guess it kind of is sometimes. I'll never like look at a specific person and be like, I don't like you because you're a man or because you're a woman. It's just that people have these traits, and I can't help but notice, like the correlation with somebody's sex. Like, I don't even want to get too much into it. Like, there's a lot like lines I don't want to cross when I'm ranting like this. But I can definitely say like over the last year, just like especially like consuming TikTok stuff, I'm just sick of this crap. Like even just seeing it, and it's like I'm gonna stop using TikTok so much because I can see how stupid and vain all this stuff is, and like it's so distasteful. Um, Basically, this issue is that women have this way of purposefully like or like without grace, like without trying to understand the other person, negatively like jumping to just jumping to a conclusion, making assumptions, and negatively judging the other person and what they did, and making judgments about their character. And then even worse, they'll go around and tell other people like what they quote unquote learned, and it's like you don't need to do all that. um you know I remember growing up when my parents were having marital issues, and the marriage was like falling apart, and it wasn't really something that was like really terrible. Like honestly, as far as divorces go, I'm pretty sure this was a very civil one, and it wasn't even something that us kids were very aware of. Like we just weren't aware of thing like problems because it wasn't like anybody was ever yelling or screaming at each other. Um, but like I realized, like when I was young, I thought that my dad was in the wrong about things because my dad is the kind of guy who will keep quiet and he'll keep his peace about things, and my mom is the kind of person who will gossip, and like you hear her side of things and her interpretation, and she's going to basically slander you and destroy your reputation for a bunch of people, based on her own flawed interpretation of things. And when I was younger, I thought that my dad didn't have very good character and that he was kind of in the wrong for things. But what it seems like now, and I'm not saying my dad, like, I'm sure he did things wrong because everybody does. But I realized, like, oh, it was actually my mom. And, like she was the one, I think it was her. Like, she was the one who was just unsatisfied and like making problems out of nothing because women do that for some reason. And women will even admit it sometimes because like on TikTok again, it's like I saw this one where this woman said that she got a divorce. She was making a video online. She's like, I got divorced 4 months ago, and my husband, when we were getting divorced, he looked at me and he said, in a year you will regret this. And she's like, oh, and I do regret it, and it's only been several months. And it's like they're just finding reasons to be unsatisfied, and they're just finding problems where there's not even problems. It's like it's never enough for women sometimes, like some women, like it's toxic women. I understand that like all flesh is evil, and so this is basically just me ranting about worldly women. This is a huge reason why people have so many issues in their marriages because women just won't be satisfied for some reason. And again, like, I like women more than I like men. So if this sounds like just a misogynistic rant, well, you should maybe I should rant about men sometime. But there was this joke on this podcast. No, maybe I don't know who it was. Maybe it was like Norm Macdonald or something. I don't know who it was. Some comedian made a joke where he's like, because Adam in the Garden of Eden was satisfied, and then Eve wasn't satisfied, and so that like I'm not even explaining the joke very well, but the joke was basically that everything was perfect in the Garden of Eden, but Eve wasn't satisfied, and so that's why she listened to the serpent. Um, and it's like that's the big joke here because they'll just never be satisfied with stuff. I don't know, and like I don't know what the problem is. Like I don't even know if this is something that can be solved. I don't think I'm probably gonna upload this video. Whatever.